big announcements that we discussed, but also some of the daily work that keeps our city running and moving forward. I want to begin with some of the work that often goes unnoticed by the community, but that so many members of our staff here at the city of Montgomery really work hard to bring about. You know, our public works and sanitation crews have been out there every day in the heat, in the rain, working to keep the city clean and making sure that everything from ditches to roadways to trash pickup is taken care of on time. And often they're doing that before many people are finished with their first cup of coffee. They do this hard work to keep the city moving and to keep the city safe. So since January, 2,828 potholes have been repaired across Montgomery. You don't often hear those stats and that data a lot, but potholes are an issue, and there's an issue that we hear about from so many residents here in the city. But more importantly, we're glad that our Public Works Department really takes a lot of pride in not only filling those potholes, but resurfacing miles and miles of streets. So far this year, 5.2 miles of roadways from neighborhood streets to key routes downtown have been resurfaced. 3,490 feet of sidewalk have also been fixed, improving accessibility and safety. Even our mosquito spraying program has covered nearly 150 square miles since launching in April. So I know there's been a little talk about that on social media, but the mosquito spray is out there. Now, we can't keep up with the rain and the moisture that's out there that brings about more of them, but certainly our crew has been doing yeoman's work in that area. And our sanitation teams have collected almost 20 tons of roadside litter. That's 40,000 pounds. That's what it looks like when your city shows up and cleans up day in and day out. That said, we want to ask for the public to continue to help participate. We appreciate all the civic organizations, the church groups, and neighborhood groups that really help us do a lot of this work and identify some of those areas as well. Now, with the extreme summer heat, pop-up rainstorms and holiday schedules can sometimes get our crews behind a little bit. So we do need a little bit of patience from the community, especially when it comes to cutting the grass on public right-of-ways or picking up bulk trash at the curb. Let me say this, the city is doing more work in cutting public right-of-ways than ever before. We're doing work that in years past and certainly decades past, the state cut, those medians along state roadways. We have brought that in under the city and working with other organizations to do just that and really bringing in private business to help us. And we're glad that the City Council has authorized us to expend funds in that way. But we're making sure that not only grass is cut, but also trash bins are being collected on time. But for everything else, just know that our crews are working hard, often in 90+ degree heat, and we appreciate your understanding as they're doing this difficult job in difficult circumstances. We want to say we see you and we thank you for all of that, because we know that it brings about a cleaner city and a cleaner and better community. Now, looking ahead, we want to give local businesses a chance to be a part of that progress. Right now, there's an open door for small, medium, and large landscaping companies to contract with the city. We need help cleaning up neglected and overgrown properties that have been abandoned by their owners. It's a chance to grow your business and beautify our neighborhoods at the same time. If you're interested, details are available now at montgomeryal.gov. We're not just focused on today, we're also building for tomorrow. And we're in the final stages of updating our city zoning and ordinances, the first comprehensive rewrite in well over 60 years. And we have been working on this initiative for well over 2 years at this time. So this will help us grow smarter, attract more development, and make Montgomery more livable and sustainable. Now, through our $50 million Montgomery Forward initiative, we've opened community centers, and we're proud to see so many people using them all across this city this summer. From Sheridan Heights to Chisholm to the Crump Community Centers, and later this year, Courtney Pruitt Community Center on Calmar Drive. These centers serve tens of thousands of residents each year, and now they're equipped to serve even more in generations to come. We also opened Firehouse 10 in West Montgomery, modernizing our emergency response and adding Montgomery's first safe haven baby box, giving parents in a crisis safe and anonymous protection and an option. And through our block by block program, Montgomery ambassadors are now downtown, keeping the streets clean, offering assistance to visitors, and helping create a more welcoming city center. Now let me close by talking about public safety, because while we've been discussing issues that matter, we know that there's nothing more urgent than the safety of this community and the solitude of those that live here. And I want to be clear, we know there's a lot of work to do. But as I told our command staff this morning at Montgomery Police Headquarters, we're making good progress in the first half of this year. Violent crime is down. I repeat, violent crime is down 28.3% year over year. Nonviolent crime is down 13.3% year over year. Homicides are down 12.5% year over year, and non-fatal shootings are down 22.5% as well. Now again, we want to see these numbers improve throughout the rest of this year. And that's why we've been in touch with our new director of Office of Violence Prevention. We've been in touch with faith leaders and grassroots leaders. And we're looking at other investments from technologies we've seen downtown with the improvement and the implementation of more cameras, to what Chief Grayboy just told me this morning, that we have now received our first drones that we've already deployed over the holiday weekend. So you'll see more of these, not only at special events, you'll see them throughout the city. And that comes along with future investment in traffic response, as well as speed cameras that will be unmanned in our community. So there's no limit, there's no holdback on what we're doing to invest in public safety and to invest in making sure all facets of this community are as safe as can be, and that we are leveraging technology as a force multiplier. This is the result of smart strategy, teamwork, and steady leadership from Chief Grayboys, as well as the dedicated men and women of the Montgomery Police Department. We've increased patrols. We've restructured staffing to focus on high-need areas. We brought in even more tools, not all of which I'll share with you today, that we want to implement to help us bring the bad guys to justice. And we're growing the force. We're excited to see 9 members graduate in this most recent police class academy just last week. Those efforts, those by not only our officers on the staff, but those members of the community, to see law enforcement as a noble career option, is helping us with our application pool, and it's helping us with the quality of laterals who are looking at Montgomery Police Department as a place to further their law enforcement career. Our officers are doing a great job, and they're identifying the suspects with the help of the community, and they're making the arrests. They're moving dangerous individuals off of our streets. But let me be equally clear about what we have to do a better job of, and what I'm going to ask the community to do. Too often we're seeing the same violent repeat offenders out on bond and arrested again and again just days later. These are not first-time offenders. These are not low-level, nonviolent offenders. These are some of the most dangerous in our community. And we have to look at how we regulate bail bondsmen and what they do and how they operate to allow people out who have committed a violent act. And we have to make sure that we hold them accountable through their regulation. And we have to make sure that they understand that we all have a right to peace and solitude in our community. While we respect the role that bail bondsmen play, what they're currently doing and some of the practices that they've undertaken in recent years, particularly in Montgomery, have to change. We're going to make sure that we continue highlighting that area But we also have to make sure that our judicial system continues to play a strong role in sending a message. And if you're a repeat violent offender, maybe you don't need that bail, maybe you don't need that bond in the first place. We really have to draw a line in the sand at what type of community we want to have. And so, as a former member of the judiciary, I understand the role that they play, respect the branch, respect many of those members right here in Montgomery. But we need more involvement, more engagement, and we need more of a stern hand where this is coming down. Because what we see too often and what we hear too often from law enforcement as well as community members is, why is this person out in the first place? Why are they getting out? If we work with the police, if we work with the Office of Violence Prevention, how can you all put this same person right back out on the street for doing something they've done in the past? We've got to figure out what type of community we want to have, and we've got to figure out what we're willing to do in order to get it. And so I think we all have a role to play in this process. And we want to make sure that as our men and women in law enforcement, whether they be city, county, state, or federal, when they do their jobs, that once we hand them over to the next branch, and once we hand over to the next step in the legal process, that they're drawing the same line in the sand that we're drawing, which is zero tolerance. And we want to make sure that whether it's our prosecutors, whether it's our lawmakers, our judges, that we're all on the same page, and we're all doing the very, very best we can to bring about a safer Montgomery. We can't do that without making some changes. We can't do that under the current construct of repeat violent offenders being allowed out as they are right now. So I welcome feedback. I welcome cooperation from those branches, from those entities, and I welcome that support from our legal community, from our policy-making community, the state level, as well as those who continue to work with us at the local level to continue to do our part. Montgomery is working. We're paving roads, we're fixing sidewalks, we're cleaning up neighborhoods, and we're expanding opportunities for local businesses. We've reopened community centers, invested in public health, and broken ground on new economic development. We've reduced crime, and we want to continue to work to reduce crime even more, so that the data has more than just the numbers back in, but it has the feeling and the emotion and the solitude and peace that we want all of our residents and visitors to have in our city. It's been a good first 6 months, but we know it could have been better. And that's why we'll push for the next 6 months to be even better. We'll push for that healthy tension, as I mentioned to our command staff at the Montgomery Police Department this morning. Not only internally in what we do in the city of Montgomery, but also with our partners in law enforcement and our partners in fighting crime and bringing about more public safety. We know that real progress isn't just about data points, it's about people. It's about their families, it's about their neighbors, it's about their church members, and how they feel even when going to work. So we're going to continue to stay focused, and we're going to continue to be transparent in our approach. And we're going to continue to be accountable. We want everybody to be accountable, because it's not just the mayor, it's not just the city council, it's not just even the police department. All of us have to take a stand in the type of community we want to have. We want to lead that, we want to be a part of it, and we want to support it each and every way we can, because we know the future of Montgomery is not something that we can rely on others to dictate. We have to dictate it ourselves. We can build it together. We can build a better and brighter community by working together and understanding where some of our deficiencies are, where some of our strengths are, and how we improve in all of those areas to make sure that this is the best city and best community that we can each have for our respective families, neighbors, friends, co-workers, and businesses. And we want to make sure we're doing that each and every day. So I thank everybody for positive first 6 months, but make no mistake about it. We're not complacent, we're not comfortable, we're not sitting back. We know that one life lost is one too many. And we want to get that number down to 0. And until we do that, then we know there's more work for us to do throughout this entire administration and throughout our various city, county, and state government, and how we work with others to bring about a safer community, regardless of zip code and regardless of where you live or how you may go to work. We want to make sure this is the best city it can be. So thank you so much, and I'll open up for any questions that any of you may have at this time.
What or who do you credit this downward trend in violent crime?
Well, I think that we've seen great work from our police department, who've really been out there. I think we have used data to help guide some of our decision making and to bring about some tweaks to how we deploy manpower. Certainly, the community has been very strong in helping us. The community has been very forward-thinking and giving us feedback, but also participating and giving us leads. We have almost a 60% closure rate, far higher than the national average when it comes to these issues. I certainly think that our attention and some of the state lawmakers' attention to permitless carry is helping. There's still more work for us to be done there and getting more guns off the street. Our federal partners are helping us in that effort. And certainly state and county collaboration, being a lot clearer, being a lot more consistent in the way that we have been working this year has been very, very helpful because everybody is now involved and engaged, and everybody understands that public safety is all of our responsibility. It's not just if you're in certain parts, it's the state, or it's not just if you're in certain parts, it's the county, or in certain parts, it's the city. It's all of us as stakeholders in Montgomery and in Central Alabama. So I think all those things collectively are leading to the downturn. And again, we know there's a lot more work to do. We want to see those numbers decrease even more. We want to see these reductions fall even more, in particular when it comes to violent crime and homicides. But when we reduce robberies by 41%, that is significant. That means that our men and women in the Montgomery Police Department are doing, great gumshoe police work, and they're busting robbery rings. We know there's still some property crime rings out there that we're focused on right now, and that impacts each and every one of us. It's impacted myself in that regard. So we know there are other areas that we have to improve on, but I think just taking a look at the halfway point shows us some of the things that have worked and some of the things that we can do a little bit better on. And I think what we have seen in the last 30 to 45 days in particular have been very, very beneficial. And I think we'll see that continue with our investments coming online now in technology, both with additional cameras, facial recognition that's involved in those, as well as the Star Watch system, and now the usage of drones being an active part of what we do each and every day.
Is there any update in the homicide investigation of the 13-year-old girl?
There's no update at this time. We're tracking that like we do all of our cases throughout the city. That was just a heinous crime that took place. I think there's some lessons to be learned there for young people. I think there's some lessons there to be learned for the entire community. That certainly is a life that should not have been taken, certainly at that age, the innocence of what was sleeping in your own home. Those are the toughest of the tough when it comes to the homicides that we have seen happen here. In my 5.5 years now being mayor, when someone or a young child has been killed in their home, we have to make sure that the adults in the house know what's going on in the house, that the adults in the house aren't allowing other people in their homes to bring trouble back that causes innocent people to be injured, much less killed. And we have to figure out a way to get them help as well, as not only for themselves, but for those who may be living in the house, visiting the homes, or even nearby in the community. So we're going to have to figure out a way to continue to communicate that, as well as show young people that there's a way to deal with disagreements without going to a gun. They have to be able to understand how to de-escalate arguments, social media beefs that are going on. They have to understand how to resolve conflicts through civility. And there has to be a respect for life on all sides of the equation. So we've got work to do in this community so that situations like that don't happen anymore in our city.
Where's the city at with naming a new fire chief?
The city has started the process of putting together a committee to evaluate candidates for fire chief. Chief Jordan did a great job in his tenure. He also set a high standard and a high bar. Dedicated about 40 years to the city of Montgomery, of which we're grateful. And I think that we've got good people internally and externally, who are interested in the position. The one thing about any organization that's been successful, you don't have a shortage of people who are interested. Not everybody wants to do a turnaround. Not everybody wants to take over something that's been at the bottom, but everybody wants to take it over for something that's been at the top. So we started the formation of our committee, and we'll keep the council as well as the public updated as we move along.
WSFA has received some calls from employees of the Department of Sanitation. They tell us that you promised them money for air conditioning in their trucks. Some say that they have been told to work in the trucks without shirts on because of the heat, and they say that workers have been passing out. Do you have any comment on that or an update for them?
Yeah, I don't have any evidence to show any of that's true. Any of it. I was just out this weekend and I talked with several sanitation crews. Was in plain clothes just to thank them for being out there doing their normal pickups, and asked them, hey, what can we do? And their feedback was very good about the support they've had and the support they've been getting from this administration. We led the initiative to increase pay for our sanitation employees for the first time in well over 15 years. And we didn't spread it out, we did it in one lump sum. I think it's about 19%. And so we're proud of that. I believe in the dignity of work for everybody, whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a grass cutter, whether you pick up trash, or whether you do accounting. You ought to have a dignity of work. So we would never ask anyone to work in inhumane, positions. If anything, we have tried to stay on the front side of that, even from everything from, moisture wicking, uniforms that we give out, to change that to the amount of uniforms that we get out, so that if you're out there on the street, you're not absorbing as much of the heat as you did kind of under the current or the previous construct of uniforms that we had. We understand the danger of heat, in particular those who are working, hours in it. So we want them to take their breaks. We want them to be hydrated. We certainly want them to be cool. To the degree that we've had a truck that may have been malfunctioning, we try to get those fixed as soon as we can, and we try to get those even off-site if we need to, if we're backed up at our own shop. So I don't have any evidence that any of that is true or has even happened, and it's certainly not anything that we would support or encourage. We want people to work with a dignity, professionalism in what they do, both how they feel about themselves and how the community feels. So I'm not really sure where that came from, but we'll look into it moving forward as well, and make sure that everybody, regardless of their position, has that same respect from the city and understands that.
We've graduated a couple classes with MPD.
Yes, sir.
Any new strategies as far as recruitment and getting new officers in and come aboard MPD?
Yeah, we're trying to show them that there's a career in law enforcement, and it's a noble calling, and it's not one that everyone chooses to answer, but we believe it's something that's worth answering here to serve your community. What better people to have protecting and serving the community than those who are from Montgomery? We think it's very, very important, because we think that there's the ability for our men and women here to connect with people, not during an incident or after an incident, but before. Whether that's through volunteering, whether that's through just getting out of the police vehicles to walk the beat, and making sure they're talking to members of this community about what they saw growing up here, why they live here, why they choose to work here. And so for us, as much talk as there is about compensation, no one takes this job because of the compensation. There are a lot more jobs that come with a lot less danger that compensate you more than this. They're taking it because it's a calling, because they feel compelled to do it. So we're We're updating our recruitment tactics. We're utilizing technology and geofencing. We're going outside of the area even to talk about the advantages of living and working and playing in Montgomery as a member of the Montgomery Police Department. And we're seeing great returns. We want to continue to see those come in, but we also want to get to young people earlier. One of the things that I think that Chief Jordan and Fire and Rescue done is they start recruiting you, it seems like, as soon as you can walk. So we got to start doing the same thing. Montgomery Police Department is getting out there, showing people what it's like to be a police officer, and showing them the type of career they can have in this calling. So you'll see that expand, as well as just different marketing tactics that we are investing in as well beyond Montgomery to tell people about why we want them to join our force here. And I think we've seen some success, but we certainly want to see more, both with new cadets, but also experienced professionals that can come on and jump right in, who already have the training and the APO certification to help us right away. All right. Well, listen, I know I held y'all up enough. Again, I want to thank you all for being patient and doing your job in the media. Thank you all for covering this city and all